welcome to our channel, Plantin' Things. Today we're going to be taking you on an indoor tour of our indoor plants. Eventually we're going to be moving in a couple of weeks and we're going to be taking you on that adventure with us as well. But in the meantime, let us introduce you to the plants we have. Hit the subscribe button if you like what you see and leave a comment below if you have anything to say. Here we have our golden Pothos. We've had this guy for about a year now. Doing great. We've got one little vine going, two vines going over there. Growing like crazy. Beautiful. One of my favorite plants, by far. This guy here is our dragon plant. We just bought this guy. We originally started with another one, but our cats decided to destroy it. We still have it. We're trying to propagate it at the moment, but it's not doing very well. We had originally gotten the stem to propagate, but that got destroyed by a cat as well. Needless to say, we're being extra careful with this guy. We also have a Pothos experiment going. We started him off in water and now we're trying to see if we can get him to grow in the soil after he shot out a little root. Here we have our forest terrarium. We just built this a couple of weeks ago. My first one, so I'm still new at it. We've got a couple of tropical trees in there, a tropical fern, some vines, and then we added the rocks and moss for a scene effect. Here we have our parlor palm. It's a clipping that we had. We're trying to propagate it at the moment, trying to get a root to grow, and it looks like we got a little guy going there. Yay!
Nice. Cool.
Here we have our forest plant. We're not sure what it's called. If you do know, leave a comment below and let us know. But we've had this guy for maybe about 3 to 4 weeks, roughly. We actually just cut it in half, and this is just half of the plant because we're trying to cut down. But he's doing okay. Over here we have our peace lily. This is by far not my favorite plant at all. When we first got it about a year ago, I knocked it over in the middle of the night trying to get a glass of water, and the flowers haven't grown ever since. And it's just taking a very long time, and I'm very impatient. And I just want to get rid of it and put something more beautiful in its place.
I want to keep it though. I want to see if it does what it can do. You know, I know it can flower, and I think a combination of things. Yes, I think when she accidentally knocked it over, that definitely, you know, put it in a state of shock. And then our old apartment only had east-facing windows, but they didn't let in any light because of the angle they were at. No, it doesn't make sense, but we didn't really have any natural light coming in. So since we've moved to our new place, basically all of this is new growth because I cut it down to nothing, pretty much, because I was just like, you know what, let's just restart it, see what it can do when it has some light. And yeah, it has all this new growth going, so I want to stick with it at least one more season to see what it can do. But anyways, I digress. Let's move on.
Here we have our forest scene. This is one of 3 scenes that we have going right now. We don't know any of the names of the plants, so again, if you know the names of the plants, leave a comment and let us know. Anything that we can figure out, the better. But we figured we'd start with something in the middle that's tall, that can draw the eye, and then we got something that's a contrasting color. We chose red to go in the middle and fill out the plant. And then we got a spiller to fill out the sides of it and make it more in-depth, I guess you can say.
Yeah, no, but do let us know that people at the local plant store that we love to go to said that these should work out perfectly. But yeah, no, if you could let us know the names of them, that would be fantastic. So now we're going to move on to our second arrangement, and this is by far my favorite. That would be our succulents.
So these guys, we've got a couple of different options in here. We've got the Golem Jade, we've got the String of Pearls, and the a couple of other ones. We've got the Bear Elf over here, and a couple of other ones that we're not quite sure what the names of them are. But this one is doing great. We've got a ton of new growth, especially on the Golem Jade over there. But we have it in cactus soil. It's doing awesome, growing like crazy. Over here we have our money plants. Originally this guy didn't do very well. We wound up having to cut one of its stalks off because it wound up root rotting. We're not sure if that's gonna do anything, but we're gonna leave it in there for now. Maybe take it out once we clean the roots off when we move. But up here, it's got a ton of new growth, a ton of new little leaves coming in, and the big leaves are just getting bigger and greener and fuller, so it's doing great. Down here, we have our Sago Palm. We've had this guy for maybe about 6 months now. He got a little singed at first from the sun when we put him outside, but he seems to be doing okay. He's been around since the Jurassic era, or at least his type of palm
we have not owned him since the Jurassic period, so no. But the type of plant, so it's a dinosaur plant, which is like the coolest thing ever, and that's why we bought it. Like when we found that out, we're like, we can own a plant that was like from like Littlefoot. Awesome. Moving on.
Down here we have our shy plant. He
not full at all.
yeah, when we first got him, he had these big, beautiful leaves. When you touched it, it would close up, hence the name shy plant. But since we brought it in from outside for the winter time, it has lost a lot of its leaves and it's not doing so great. We think it needs more light.
So we'll keep an eye on that one, and excuse me, if anyone owns one of these and kind of has the same issues, let us know if this is normal, but I think it is. There's some new growth coming in, and it's all really, really nice new growth, so I think it's overall doing okay.
Alright, so here we have our OG plant, our original plant that we first bought. It's a parlor palm and doing great. There's a ton of new growth. The leaves actually split in half. I find that pretty interesting. If you can see down here, these guys are starting to split themselves. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but it's very interesting. I suggest you get one and watch it happen.
But we've had this plant. This was like she said, this is our OP, or original plant, and we had it for a while, and it was sustaining pretty well, but kind of similar to the Peace Lily. When we moved to this new place and we had a adequate light source, it was kind of getting straggly, not really a condensed form for it, so I kind of cut it back, except for I think this guy here and this fellow here. Everything else you see is new growth within under a year. So this thing really, if you give it the proper nutrients, which we fertilize it about once every month, I'd say, with a 5-5-5 mixture, and yeah, we water it I think once every month. That's all it needs. And that it'll flourish, definitely. So next on the list, and actually last on the plant wall here,
this is our White Queen Pothos, and it's doing amazing. When we first got it, I'd say it maybe didn't come more than an inch off of the top of this pot here, and now it's just spilling over, it's filling out, it's looking great. Every day we find new leaves popping out here and there. It's just doing amazing.
And honestly, it's been doing great in the last 2 weeks, even, because we kind of made this little jerry-rig system here to lower it down a little bit. So the pot was originally kind of up to here, but now we lowered it here so the sunlight can really hit it, and it is just loving it. But this is kind of like the Pothos. It's not required to have a lot of light or even a lot of water for this thing. They kind of just do well hanging out by themselves. So yeah.
Alright, so here we have both our corn plants on the left and our yucca tree on the right. Both of them are doing pretty well. They've both had their ups and downs. The yucca tree tends to lose the bottom spikes over here a little more. But the new growth growing in is doing amazing. So my guess is that it's just trying to grow this trunk and harden it up, so it's losing the leaves as it grows taller. It's also got a ton of new shoots coming in, so there's going to be a ton of new branches coming out, and it's going to look big and full and gorgeous. Over here we've got the corn plant. Also, it's got a ton of new little guys coming in. Other than that, we did have one case of root rot going on in this branch over here. The only branch that was affected. Everything else seems to be doing great, but we cut it back and it's drying out, so that seems to be doing okay. We are hoping it might get another little offshoot coming out. So down here, this is our rubber plant. I believe it's called a Chinese evergreen rubber plant. However, I'm not entirely sure, so go ahead and leave a comment below and let me know. But this plant is doing amazing. There's a ton of new growth ever since we got into this new apartment a couple of months ago. Before that, it wasn't getting much light, which is fine. It just doesn't grow very fast if it doesn't get that much light. Up here we have our echeveria, which I believe they're called. They are succulents again. We did not have cactus mix for this plant, but it seems to be doing fine. When we first got them, they were red all the way around, like the tips of them here, but now that we've got them inside and in soil and out of the sun, they're greening up, they're perking up, and they're looking great. Over here, this is another one of my favorites. This is our jade scene, and we've got the jade here for the main focal point, big, tall, and in your face, and then we've got the echeveria, which I cut from the previous plants and just stuck here in the soil, and they're doing all amazing here as well. And then we've got this one spiky little guy. I'm not sure what his name is. If you can let us know, go ahead and leave a comment below. But then I just decided to put some rocks around the outside, make a nice little scene, make it look clean and nice, and it just looks amazing. I love it.
Alright, so that's going to go ahead and wrap up our very first apartment indoor plant tour. Again, please hit that subscribe button and follow along our journeys, because we are going to be moving across the country come the weekend of Thanksgiving. So yeah, we will be packing up all of our plants here and moving them across country. So join us for that journey, and yeah, it's sure to be a great time. So again, thanks for joining us on our very first video. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.